Everybody.
Sing it, soul brother.
The fourth quarter.
When this old world gets me down,
Oh.
and there's no love to be found, I close my eyes. Frankie.
You're listening to Vegas Nonstop, presented by Big Dogs Draft House, Craig and Recho, and Charlie Palmer Steak at the Four Seasons Hotel. Now, here again is Jonathan Scott.
Thank you, John Lindquist.
God, John. And I love that song.
And one of the reasons I pulled that particular one when I was looking through YouTube was actually Dick Clark introduced you in that cut.
Oh, was that Dick Clark?
That was Dick Clark laying on the beach.
Well, I remember in Malibu. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. But here's what I was looking at Frankie while we were listening to that, and you know it's a bubblegum song. It's got the kids
Right.
and everything. But the rhythm section was Bernard Purdy, who was
Oh,
Aretha
yeah.
Franklin's drummer. It's like a deep funk, and that's why I feel so good.
Yeah,
because
it's to this day.
yeah, to this day, when you listen just
I
to the
saw
groove,
you when it came on. You got right into it.
it's like right.
I like it.
Yeah, it's fun to hear.
You know, I've seen you perform so many times that I know a lot of your in between patter stuff. And I love when you introduced that song. You used to say even less. You used to say, "And this is my one hit song." And you may ask yourself only one hit song, but how many have you had?
Yeah, well, I say I used to be embarrassed. I only had one hit until one night I realized I only have one hit. But how many do you have?
That's right.
That's all you need is one.
And another reason I like having Clint on the show is because Clint, you're the most diverse sports fan that I know.
Really?
Because you have Buffalo Bills for NFL.
Redskins.
And
Oh, Washington
Redskins.
Redskins. I'm sorry, Washington Redskins. For baseball, Dodgers,
Right.
and for basketball, Knicks.
Knicks. Yeah.
So I don't know anybody else that's like,
Well, that's
across
because I've
different-
lived everywhere. You know what I mean? And I lived in L.A. I lived in New York during the Ewing, John Starks, Charles Oakley, those guys.
Van Gundy.
And Van Gundy years. And then Pat Riley. And so I used to go as much as I could. So
That's when basketball was so amazing.
Yeah, and the Redskins, I've told you this before, that was the beginning of my career. The very big, I was in the Army in D.C., started my career, and I knew a lot of the guys, and I sat on the bench with the Redskins, and and once you kind of get in there, and I like the Bills too from Buffalo, but the Redskins are my heart and soul.
I think they're changing the name to the Injuns.
Terrible.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Jesus.
You're welcome.
Everybody's got to lighten up. Leave them
Tonight's
alone.
yeah, right.
I agree.
You
That's
can't
like
do anything
lighten
without
up.
offending somebody, so let's just offend everybody.
Really, anything offends anybody.
Yeah, I agree with Frankie. It's like, I mean, I'm a Redskins fan, and obviously I'm very, very liberal and open, and I don't want anyone offended. But it's been the name of the team for 100 years.
Exactly.
And you know, what, 3 years ago, somebody said, hey, wait a minute. I find that offensive.
But
You know?
why
yeah.
is it that everyone's getting so excited about just the Redskins and not the Atlanta Braves or the Seminoles or all the other ones
Well,
that
that's
have
true,
similar
too.
references, but yet the Redskins always seem to float to the top?
Well, because there's no casino.
Ah,
So
The other ones
anyway,
have casinos. The Seminole
Atlanta
casino.
Braves have a casino?
They must. I don't know.
I understand the issue. I
I-
do.
I
And-
do.
and
I get it.
I get it. And if someone is truly offended, I would totally respect that.
I'll bet if you asked 100 Native Americans, maybe 20 would say they were offended. by it.
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
I really do, because I know a lot of Native Americans, being from Buffalo and that area, the Seneca Nation tribe. None of those people care. They really don't.
And I guess Redskins has a negative connotation, but I never thought of it that way.
Neither did they
You know,
when they named the team.
Yeah,
It should
exactly.
be like the New York Yids.
The matzo balls.
No,
Buffalo
the New York.
Dagos.
Oh, San Diego Dagos.
Now,
San Diego
the
Dagos.
San Diego Dagos.
That's great.
We can do that with almost every city. Can we talk about the Raiders
Oh, we've
coming to
offended
Las
everyone
yeah,
so
let's-
far.
Yeah, so far. Let's just go for broke. Las Vegas getting the Raiders, guys. What do you think? I mean,
Boy,
That's
would
the
that be
rumor.
amazing?
That's
Yeah,
the
that'd be
rumor.
Fabulous.
I mean, wasn't it always that we couldn't have a team here in Las
Because of
Vegas
gambling?
because of the gambling?
Correct.
It was, but that was through the mouthpieces of the league, Goodell and even Greg Ayala, the main PR guy. You know, they were just playing the company line. I don't think that there was ever a poll done of the owners, and what do you think?
No.
And a tally was taken ever. That was just a line that they all observed, and so I think we're seeing a big title change now.
I agree.
But what's interesting about the story as it relates to gambling is with all the talk about the daily fantasy leagues being banned because it's deemed gambling here in Nevada, in New York, people are now saying that could be the excuse for the league to sort of accept the gambling side of it by
Las
having
Vegas
a team here in
Raiders.
Las Vegas, and they can all keep their money because let's be honest, Kraft and Jerry Jones are all investors in DraftKings
Right.
and those daily fantasy, so they can't tell the league that they don't want gambling when they're involved in something that is gambling.
That's a
Exactly.
good point. And they play in London now.
Correct.
London's all about gambling.
They have
Correct.
kiosks in the
Yeah.
stadium.
In London,
Yeah.
they gamble on our presidential elections. It's one of the biggest gambling days of the year.
It's one of the gambling days for us too.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
You got to change the helmets to a headdress and feathers, though, like a showgirl.
Or a
They got them out
yarmulke.
on the
A
field.
yarmulke.
Yeah, no, like our showgirls in Vegas, the Vegas Raiders.
I think we have Wayne Newton on the helmet.
That's a great idea.
The Wayner.
Oscar Goodman.
Oscar Goodman on one side and Wayne.
Another topic for conversation is concussions. More concussions in 2015. I don't know if you've seen the movie Concussion,
Wow.
but more concussions this year than ever.
And this 27-year-old kid who just died, is the youngest they've seen with that level of CTE in such a short career.
Don't bring us down, man.
I think
Well,
I think it's the fake fields, man. I think when they played on real dirt, you hit the dirt, it's softer than
I
these
never thought of
fields.
that.
There's cement under those fields. No matter what you do, there's hard ground under those fields. And they're playing in more of them. I think we should go back to natural grass.
Do you think it's hitting the ground, or do you think it's the helmet hitting helmet?
Well, it's when you hit anything, even though you're protected with a helmet, you hit it against cement. Even though there's a little grass, fake grass under there, you're hitting against cement, and that is like hitting a rock.
Speaking of which, World of Concrete coming to Las Vegas. How's that for a segue,
Beautiful.
Frankie? How many family members from the World of Concrete do you have coming into town?
I got 3 that are still alive.
Get fitted for shoes.
Yes.
It's the same week as the shoe convention.
The shoe convention.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
You're
think
listening
not.
to Vegas Nonstop here on KXNT. Check us out on the web, vegasnonstop.com, or send us a Twitter at Jonathan Scott LV or hashtag Vegas Nonstop. You can give us a call, 702-733-5968. Big Winterfest Beer Festival tonight at Big Dogs. It's already started, already in progress. So join us, Rancho and Craig. Free admission, of course, pay as you go on the beer and then the sandwiches. Find stews, brews, and tunes. 3 live bands. That's at Big Dogs Draft House on Rancho and Craig. Okay, propositional bets as usual. The boy, I almost blanked out on calling it Westgate LVH Hilton.
All right.
Has the most amount of propositional bets, over 400 props, Rob.
Unbelievable.
I know, and only on some of the sheets can you combine and do parlay, but there are
So
parlay.
unlike you to always look for a parlay, John.
Yes, I know. Well, Johnny Parlay here.
Let me take 7 different propositions.
Eight propositions this year. The 8 pays 150 to 1. So on a $10 bet, you can win $1,500. You know, I get killed on the over and unders as I usually do, but I find that 45 number just to be so offensive that you go, it's so right in the middle at 45 points.
I know.
But I like the coin twice. What if it lands on its side?
Well, there is a proposition. What if it doesn't flip?
If it doesn't, is there?
I believe
there's a
it's out there this year for the
Not-
first time
Right,
because of what
because of what
happened
happened.
in the game.
I don't think it's on Jay Cornegay's book, but someone probably has it.
How cray was that?
Oh,
That the
my
coin
God.
The
didn't
coin
flip.
that never flipped.
The coin that never flipped.
You know, I was in Atlantic City performing, and I came off stage at the very beginning of the game, and then I did the show, and I came off stage, and the first play I saw was the Hail Mary pass.
From
yeah,
Rodgers.
from Aaron Rodgers. I walked in the dressing room, and blah, 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 and
The first one or the second one?
the second one,
Yeah, yeah.
as it turns out, the second one, and then of course the great play that the
Larry
Cardinals made.
Fitzgerald.
At Larry Fitzgerald's play, and then
Unbelievable.
that was like I watched like 6 minutes of the greatest game I've ever. It was like amazing.
30 seconds.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
That was wild.
Yeah.
So we've got all kinds of problems. Of course, I'm going to bet the safety because I've won the safety bet.
I like the
3
safety
years.
bet.
I like in this game. I like
Three
the
in a row,
safety
right.
bet
What does
too.
it? What does it pay?
Pays 550.
What?
Yeah, plus 550.
Oh, that's a
That's
lot.
Safety
Nice.
is plus 550, and overtime is plus 550.
So
Jay Cornegay once told me a few years ago that if there's ever a Super Bowl with a safety and an overtime, they might be closing the doors the next day because everybody in their
so
mind
it's 55
bets
to
both
1.
of those.
Is it 55 to 1 on the safety?
5.5 to 1.
5.5
plus
to 1.
550.
That's straight up,
Yeah.
man.
Because
That's
it was
nice.
Yeah.
30 to 1 when I collected on it
30 to 1 on a safety?
on a safety.
That
match.
seems
That,
really
could,
high.
could that have been like on the first score of the game?
No, it was just that was it because I was
Wow.
on a cruise. I was on a Super Bowl
Oh, that
cruise.
was the guy that hit that.
And I won. Some years it was 50 to 1.
That was
On a safety.
the 49ers Ravens Super Bowl a few years ago with the blackout.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The first score of the game was
Right.
the safety.
Right.
That's
Which
right.
brings us to another topic of the blackout and CBS here in Las Vegas. KLAS.
You know what, tell me, I don't know what that.
They're off the air right now.
Right now they're off
On
the air.
Cox Cable,
On
you
Cox.
cannot watch CBS
Come on.
television.
Yep. It's a
Yeah,
blues.
no, we
Scary.
cannot
And guess
watch it.
where the Super Bowl is being shown next Sunday?
That's
CBS.
Hey, wait, hold it. Hold it.
Leverage.
Is this true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is true.
And,
Yeah.
and why?
Because they're not paying enough money to the NFL, I'm guessing, right?
They want
But
three.
why are they off the air?
No, they're not paying money to Cox.
Right. They're asking Cox for
CBS
three
is
times
not
the
paying money to Cox.
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. CBS.
There you go.
There it is.
Demanding a
This-
significant fee increase from this channel has pulled it from Cox viewers.
But the music is really good. Turn the music up.
So you hear that, DirecTV?
Wow.
You hear
Isn't
that,
that amazing?
CenturyLink?
And they timed it specifically a week before the Super Bowl to try to strong arm them.
Well, I have Cox. That means that I'm not right as it stands right now. I don't.
You have to go elsewhere to watch the Super Bowl as of right now.
Or all of your favorite CBS shows.
You know,
Yeah.
You can't watch them right now.
That's amazing.
Come to my house. You
Okay.
can-
Go to Jeff Bolitz's party.
Come on.
Jeff Bolitz's party.
Yeah, I know Jeff's having a party.
Yeah. It's my first year that I'm not working.
Is
on
that
Super Bowl.
unbelievable?
Yeah.
That is straight greed right there.
Oh.
And we're all in favor of straight greed, so we're going to take a commercial break.
Ah.
You're listening to Vegas Nonstop on KXNT. More Jefferson Airplane. Paul Kantner.